Hey, we're back. The sun's shining, it's not raining, and I've got a big piece of copper pipe here. Yeah, welcome back. So, I have the electrical systems finished, bar the horns, but I'm okay with that. I've got a few things to do underneath. I've ordered a couple of new ones and they're not here, so that is why I'm moving on for the time being. I will come back to it though, but at the moment I need to move on to pastures new. And what I am doing right now is I'm working on the cables that run under the van. Now, I've already greased up the clutch cable. It's working fine. The only one I was having a lot of issues with is the throttle cable. And basically, for those that don't know, assuming this is the back of the van, this is where the throttle cable exits. I think that goes through the metal housing on the cooling shroud housing doodah. But there is a steel pipe that runs most of the length of the van, comes out just ahead of the front cross member, and then connects up to the mechanism for the pedal. Now, on mine, that tube is it's corroded. Where there's been welding done, where the new chassis and everything's been put in, the tubing's been damaged, and it's just in a really, really bad condition. So, I've looked around. Nobody seems to sell the actual tube itself. However, it is approximately 8mm, the same as central heating pipe. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a length of copper central heating hose. Now, this here, which connects to the end of it, this is actually like a flexible piece. That's better. That's like a flexible piece. That's the bit that I think goes through the shroud. But yeah, what I'm doing is I've actually removed the old rotted and damaged pipe, and now I've got the copper pipe in there. But one thing that is happening is that this is just slightly smaller out of diameter than the steel pipe, so that actually rotates on it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a slit in there, and then just going to use one of these fuel injection clips, and that should just clamp it onto there nicely, and then I'll get it into place. Now obviously this is longer than I need. This is too long. This is 3 meters, which is about what, 19 point something feet. It is longer than the van, so I will just cut it off and terminate it where I need it. But yeah, this is it for now. I need these bits done before I start putting the engine in. It may be in this video, but I am going to get into the doing the transmission. I do have a lot of stuff on order for that. That should be here. It's Thursday today. It could be here by the weekend, but I don't know. The company that I order from, they are very, very good with shipping, so it could be here for the weekend. It might not. But it doesn't matter. I've still got things I need to do under there. Something else that I've been working on are the cables for the airboxes. Now, one thing that I am doing is I've decided that I'm gonna go with a diesel heater in the airbox, in the system. So, with that in mind, right, let's sort of break this down. That's going to be easier. Now, I'll still have the conduit that runs up to the van, up to the front, that takes heat from the engine. That'll still be there, but the actual vents that go inside the living compartment, that is where the diesel heater is going to be connected to. So it will be isolating one complete circuit there. I will not need to have a cable connection to there to actually open and close that vent. It will be permanently closed off from the main heating system on the van, but it will be connected to the diesel heater. I think that makes sense. I'm giddy, it's sunny and I'm not getting rained on, and it's, did I mention it's sunny and a blue sky? Anyway, that's that. Yeah, I'm just going to slide on underneath now, and I'm going to just start fitting this tube into place. When we'll get to the diesel heater, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, this is the plan for today, is to get this into place. And there we go, there's the old one out. But yeah, you can see it's rusted all the way down, and where was it? Back here. I don't know if you can see there, but it has been hit with heat there, and I cannot get the new cable to go in past just here. So, and it's actually just rotted through on this end, so it needed replacing, you know. I could have tried just forcing grease down, and I even thought about blowing compressed air through it. I mean, you just reach that point where sometimes you just got to look at it and say, you know what, it's just not worth the effort. Let's just put a new piece of pipe in and we'll call it good. Well, that's it, it's in. And as you may be able to hear, it started to rain. So I'm not going to shoot anymore. It's connected up at the front there. I've still got to put the bar and everything in from the pedal, but that's it. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I just slid the old pipe out because it was already broken off the welds. I have zip tied it up in a few places, but I am going to actually put some proper clamps. They're for brake line actually, but I'm going to put a couple of them on there, just not today. Anyway, I'm going to head in the house now. That's it for today. But tomorrow, I'm going to get on with the gearbox. I'm going to start having a bit play around with the gearbox. I've got the seals now. I did shoot an update, but I forgot to load it, and it doesn't matter now, so whatever. But yeah, I'm going to get into the gearbox tomorrow, if it's dry, that is, and then we'll take it from there. But anyway, I've had enough. I'm wet and I'm going in. Well, the time has finally arrived. So let's crack this egg and see what's inside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be... Thank you, bird. And yeah, let's try this all over again. Well, I think I am going to begin by removing this seal here and removing this side plate, which basically is where your CV joint bolts onto. And yeah, I think one of the main seals is under there. I think this is one of the ones that's really leaking badly as well, because I can still feel debris and everything under there. So yeah, and do the other side, then do the back cover, front cover, and yeah, we'll just kind of take it from there and play it by ear. So first things first, there is just a little circlip here to remove. I do need a container because any of these little bits, I'm pretty sure they didn't come in the kit, so I need to make sure I don't lose any of these. But I think what happens is this comes off, then this just basically pops off, and then you can get to the seals under here. Well, there you go. It was that simple. Clip off, and I just pried. It's just a hammer bit, literally, and just a little bit of prying there, and it just popped right off. So you can see another circlip in there. I'm hoping I don't have to remove that, but let's take this bracket off here and then see where that leaves us. Now, before I actually just put a screwdriver onto this, what I'm going to do is just put the bit there and take the hammer, and I'll just tap the bit, and that shocks the screw, and it can help break any stiction, any traction that the screw's got, and it just helps it release a little bit easier. Well, there we go. There's the seal on this side. What I'm going to do is I am going to pop them out, and I'm then going to leave this side, flip the transmission over, do the same on the other side, and yeah, then just give it the areas a bit of a clean. Bracket here I am going to pop off, and he's going to get a lick of paint, but yeah, pretty straightforward so far. Screwdriver just hammered into the edge of it and just flipped it out, and there we go. I'm not taking anything else out of there now. I am going to flip the transmission over. I'm going to grab a couple of rags because I am expecting there some high-powered gear oil to still come out of there. So, although I've mostly drained the tank off, there's going to be something left in there, I'm pretty sure of it. So I'll get a couple of rags down just to let it drain onto the rags rather than going all over the drive. This actually, given the age, is not that bad. It's still got a bit of flex in it there, although it's not. I mean, it is actually quite rigid, but there's more flex in that than I expected. I was expecting this to be just absolutely rock hard. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the rear. Actually, that's the front mount. I'm going to pop that off. Then we'll pop this cover off, and then we'll take it from there. Basically, there's a gasket there, gasket to go in there, and one to go in there. That's the three main ones. So let's get this back section off first. Actually, I think there's one to go in there as well, I'm not sure. But let's get this back section off first anyway, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so got the nose cone off, and I'm just basically videoing this just to make a note of where everything is, but it's pretty straightforward. This is your selector lever, and so we get a gear there, and it's probably a combination of two or more of these to get, like, well, two maybe to get reverse and fourth gear. So yeah, overall it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to take this off. All of this I'm going to clean down, and then I'll move on to removing this. I think this outer casing here, you can remove that without actually touching too much inside. Obviously, you can see the bearings there. The bearings actually look in really good condition. I mean, it's obviously been nicely lubricated, so that's the main concern, is just make sure it's always had enough transmission oil in. But yeah, everything's looking okay, so let's move on. So after a lot of digging, I've hit my first snag. So my idea was to split the transmission here, replace this seal, but there is a special tool that comes in from the other side that releases everything, and then this can all come out. I don't have it. I've been online, and a couple of the places I normally buy my stuff from, they don't have it either. It's on back order. They don't know when they'll have it in stock, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to replace this gasket here. Now, thankfully it has not been leaking here, so there is that in my favour, but that is a bit of a sod, a bit of a bugger. I was expecting to be able to just take this off, because I thought they would just separate from these bearings here and pull out, but apparently not. So I'm going to put the nuts back on, crank it down, and then flip it over and do the bell housing. Apparently that does come off dead easy, but meanwhile what I've done is the bits I do have off, I've given them a really good clean, wire brush them, then give them a clean down with some paint thinners, and just giving them a coat of paint. I haven't done that one, that's mostly rubber, so I haven't touched him, but yeah. So let's get these nuts back on, and then we'll move to the bell housing. Right then, so we've got all the bolts out around the inside there, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outer case, and as you can see she's started to split there, so I will split this off. Then what I can do is I can actually shine a light in here and just have a look, see what I can see. Obviously, like I've said, I don't have the special tool to get in here so I can break this back section off, and I've sat here and debated. Well, there isn't an option because I can't get it, and I don't know how long it's going to be on back order, and I don't want to sit here and wait. And like I've said in, I think it was one of the previous videos, this is going to be a test run for this transmission. Everything I've seen suggests it's a really good one, but I won't know until I get it in and see how it shifts and how everything operates on it, and then I'll take it from there. There's still the option to go for something like a freeway flyer later on down the road, but right now I just want this sealed and in the van so I can basically start ironing things out. That's a simple reality of it. If I had the funding, if I had the finances, I wouldn't even be doing this. I would have just put it straight in for an exchange unit, but I don't. So, and then this is the thing with a lot of projects like this, and I know other people have gone through the same thing. It's debating on what to change, what not to change, what to renew, what not to renew, and it can be a difficult process. I mean, this is not a TV show. It's just one guy on his driveway, and you do have to be aware of the financial side of things. I know I've still got a lot of expense with the interior. I've got all the braking system to do on it. You know, it adds up. So let's just get this separated. We'll get it all cleaned up, sealed, and then, yeah, it's probably going to be ready to go in. And I do have a plan on how to do that. I'm not sure if it'll be in this video or not, but I do have a plan on how I'm going to get this put in. Yes, we still had oil in there. Let's get some rags and get this cleaned up. So apparently I didn't get all the oil out. That surprised me because I've had this thing laying on its side for ages and just nothing came out. Whatever. It's out now. Yeah, not exactly the most not the most ideal situation, but it happened. Hey, I don't hide anything. So yeah, I could have cleaned all this up, come back later and said, everything went perfectly smoothly. Yeah, right. Not in my world. Not in my world. Anyway, for my next bad idea, I'm going to move the transmission, get this all cleaned up. So, got all the oil and everything out, just been cleaning stuff up, but I am very hopeful for this transmission. There is very, very little backlash in this diff, and it just seems to be in good condition all around, other than just seals being old in it. So I am actually hopeful. I'm just letting the rest of the oil drain out there. Obviously this will get pressure washed and everything before I'm finished today, but it's actually, I'm quite pleased with what I'm seeing. But it's I can't see it in there. I can't actually. Can you see it? Anyway, this shaft pops out and the tool goes in there and it releases everything, so the whole lot slides back. That's what I'm missing, and I don't have it, so it is what it is. Like I said, I'm trying just to do the best I can with what I've got. Oh, we're just about there. I am actually going to put some automotive silicone sealer on both sides of the gasket, just to be 100% sure. But yeah, I just popped it on there just to make sure I had the right one. And which way around it goes doesn't seem to matter. It seems to be, you can flip it either way. So yeah, let's get a very thin smearing of silicone on there, then we'll get this stuck on. So we've got the bell housing back on. I'm now just cleaning up this mating surface. We're going to put this snout back on, and I'll do the side seals, and yeah, we're done. Obviously, me being me, I am going to paint it once it's all reassembled, but yeah, it's so far, the only thing I'm disappointed with, in all of the videos that I've watched, and I've watched quite a few on rebuilding these, I've never seen any of them talk about a special tool to get that front end of the transmission. I think it's something to do with the reverse gear. There you go, you know, that's how things happen sometimes. It's not everything's within our control. Right, I've got the gasket on, got this assembly back in. I have actually some transmission oil there, and I have lubricated all of this before it goes back together. I know it'll get lubricated when it's all in the vehicle and oil and everything's put in, but it doesn't hurt to put a little bit on before this nose cone goes on. Well, there we go, the back cover's on now. I have not got the dust cover on here. The one I've got, where are we at? That one, it's too thick. It actually stops it from changing gear. Now, it's easy enough to put it on. Where are we at? It's easy enough to put it on, so I'm not obviously I'm not going to use this one because it's limiting the travel of the gear selector. So I will. I'll find another one basically, but for the moment I'm not putting it on there. But yeah, I mean, even when this is in, it's just that bolt there, pop that out, pop this off, put it on, put this back on, put it on, connect the gear linkage back up, and we're done. So I'm not too concerned about that. But anyway, let's get these side seals done, and yeah, we'll get the box up right, and we're virtually there. Now, I was actually thinking about putting this in today, but there is something that I want to do before I do that. I want to hook this up to the engine, and I'm thinking I would like to start the engine outside here. I've got all the gaskets for it now, so I think once I've got these seals in, obviously I'm going to paint it. You know, it's me. I'm going to paint it. So once I've got these side seals in, I'll mask it up, paint it. That can then sit overnight. Meanwhile, I'm going to get on and start assembling the engine. That's it, it's in, it's nicely seated in there. Obviously I do need to lubricate in here just yet before I put the actual CV coupler in there, but yeah, pretty straightforward and looking good, I might just say. Well, there it is. Last thing is that tapped into there, and that's the side complete. And we're finished. Yeah, ironically, the most difficult part has been getting this damn circlip back on the side. I don't know, but it's in now, so yeah. Flip the transmission over, and I will basically do the same on the other side. And there we go. That's it. It's yeah, all sealed up. Like I said, the only one that I have not done is this one here, because I just don't have the tool, and I can't get one in any reasonable time. So yeah, it is what it is. The transmission wasn't leaking from there anyway. The main place where the leak was from these side seals, but it was the entire kit, so you know. Do need to source another grommet for there, because like I say, the one that I've got, it's way too thick, and it's not going to work on there because it is actually stopping this from the selector from moving. So, but otherwise, that's it. Yeah. So I'm going to put this to one side. It's getting on a bit today, but I'm going to get cleared up out here, get the pressure washer out, get rid of my oil spill. Yeah, it is, whatever it is. But yeah, and then I'm not sure if I'll get a start tonight, but I will definitely get a start tomorrow in disassembling the engine. Have I shown you in this video? I know, I think I did an update about it, but yeah, electronic distributor. The old one, I realised it did not have a vacuum advance on it. I don't know why, I should have noticed, but yeah, I didn't. It's been a long time since I've really done anything with an older vehicle again. It's last one was the Jeep. So I just forgot about it and then realised, and then yeah, but there was a good deal to be had on this, so I grabbed it. Obviously I've got the air tubes there now, and also I do have the pulley for the alternator, which is good. So what I'm going to do probably tomorrow is disassemble this, because obviously, if you recall from a previous video, of an earlier video, I did a basic assembly without any gaskets just to get a handle on it all. Well, I've got the gaskets for it now, and I've got the pulley and everything, and all the bits and pieces. I've got everything, so I can actually do an assembly on this. What I want to do is, and my initial thought was to put the transmission straight in, but I want to actually start this outside of the van. So I'm going to put the clutch and everything on, get this connected up, run a battery to it, and then just fire her up, see what happens. I want to run through that carb as well. Obviously it's an unknown entity. And a few other bits and pieces on here, but overall we're there. we are there. So we will come back to this tomorrow morning, and yeah, so I'm going to tidy up out there for tonight, and then I think I'll probably call it. Well, technically it's not the next morning yet, but I was just sitting there and I couldn't resist it, so I've come out and just dismantled everything. So it's going to be ready for getting into it first thing in the morning. I do have to clean this off though before I get the clutch. One thing I'm a little baffled by, but there does not seem to be a location for an oil filter. The manual suggests that there should be one on the bottom somewhere. Either it's one of the corners. I assumed it would be under the oil pump at the front there, but it's not. So maybe it doesn't. I don't like that. I would much prefer this to have an oil filter, but yeah, it's yeah, maybe it is not meant to. So we'll figure this out in the morning. It's obviously, it doesn't look like it's getting dark, but it is getting dark out there. So yeah, we'll come back, have a look, see what we can figure out, and then yeah, start putting it together. Well, keeping with tradition, I'm closing today with rain. It is actually quite a bit later. I did get everything done on the transmission. Obviously, it's starting to get dark out here, even though it doesn't show it on the camera. But I actually went ahead and dismantled the engine tonight. I was sitting there and it was like, that's, you know, I'm not outside, I'm in the garage, so I dismantled the engine, but you'll see that in an upcoming video. And with that in mind, I think this is a good place to bring this one to a close. Yeah, other than the fact that I did not have the tool to separate the transmission to do that middle seal. Everything went nice and smooth. It looks a good transmission. I'm feeling very confident about it. So, looking forward to getting it put in the van. Now, in the next video, what I want to do is I want to start the engine outside the van. Basically, I want to bolt the transmission up to it. I'm going to put some oil in them both and see if I can get the engine to start outside the van. The main reason for is if I need to troubleshoot anything, it's easier to do it with the engine sitting on the ground than it is trying to squeeze up inside the engine compartment there, because there's not a lot of space. So fingers crossed that is going to be the next video. But with that in mind, it's time to go. So as always, thanks for following me on this journey, and yeah, take care, have a good one.